Thanks for jumping on, and welcome to another edition of Smack the Odds, where we give you betting insight, strategies on how to bet better, and updates on what's going on in the NBA. That's right, we hooping, and we giving you the exclusive insight on how to become a better sports bettor. Now, I want to get right into it. This week, we have some great news. This is the start of the NBA's Emirates Cup. And this cup was a sponsorship deal between the NBA and the Emirates Airlines to merge together to form a unique sponsorship that allows the Emirates to have licensing to all of the tournament arenas. So this gives them an opportunity to get their brand, their name out there. Also gives the NBA some sponsorship so that way they have a unique airline that's able to fly the players to the designated destination. So this is a good partnership. The way the Emirates Cup is set up is it's based off of 5 different pools of 6 teams. These pools make up the 30 teams that are competing for one cup. The thing that you need to understand with this is, with the Emirates Cup, they're going to play a lot harder. It's going to be more defense being played. Players' numbers may go down a little bit. Those nights that they would have taken off, they're not going to take off. They're going to be diving for loose balls, and it's going to be a scrappy game each game. I did some research, and the Emirates Cup actually had 6 of the 8 games that was played on the first day that were dogs. Underdogs won on those games. So you need to know this going into Friday that, listen, players are going to play hard. Teams are going to play hard. They're competing for something. Not only are they competing for the cup, each player gets $500,000 if they win the cup. So this is an incentive. Not only is it an incentive for them to get the $500,000, but if you play well and it's your contract year, you may be even looking to get additional income. And who doesn't like a little cha-ching, if you know what I mean? Everybody loves coin, and it's no different than the NBA players. They love to get contract renegotiations. They love to come back to the table and renegotiate and become better players. Not only that, you want to stay in the league. So some of these younger guys, they may have been drafted at lower picks, and they have an opportunity to get out there and showcase their talent in front of millions of people. And this is a great way for them to do that with the Emirates Cup. So remember, if you lose, you go home. So each team will be able to advance based on winning and face the next team within that unit. If you lose, the losers is, like I said, it's 5 groups. So it's 6 teams in each group. 2 teams playing each 2. Okay? Whichever team wins, they go to the next round. Whichever team loses, they face each other. Whichever one had the highest record, and then that's it. Okay? So I want you guys to understand that when betting in the Emirates Cup. I don't want to go into too much detail. Just know that Emirates Cup is on Friday, and be aware it's going to be Dog Friday. What I like to call it is Friday the 13th, because you know how Michael Myers in there said blood everywhere. It's Bloody Fridays. Also, Fridays is a day where everybody gets paid. And the books know that, so they're going to pull their tricks out, and it's up to you to be prepared for those landmines and know where those landmines are coming from and how to execute on those particular bets. So, with that being said, I want to get into some of the things that's occurring this week and some of the exciting news that we have. We have great news for you. Tyrese Maxey was named Player of the Week. Huge salute to Tyrese Maxey from the Philadelphia 76ers. You're playing amazing basketball, young man, and we love to watch it. We're rooting for you. He actually was drafted pretty low in the draft, and I just saw, how heartfelt he was about delivering quality performance and being an inspiration not only on the court, but off the court. His grandmother told him that it's very important that he does that, and he stood by his word. Young man, you're a rock star. You're doing your thing. Huge salute to Tyrese Maxey. And we have the Philadelphia 76ers, which is number 2 in the league. Not in the league, number 2 in the Eastern Conference. And they just lost to the Bulls. But they're playing great basketball. They're playing great basketball. You still have Joel Embiid on minutes restriction. So it kind of messes up, I think, the chemistry of the Philadelphia 76ers. When he's in and out, it's hard to build that team continuity. But they have a young man over there, 2 young men, in which I really appreciate watching them, and they're rock stars. Number 1 is Dominic Barlow, which I think he is very underrated. He's about 9'6", long arms, runs the floor, defends, could shoot the pull-up, and he also rebounds very well. Dominic Barlow, huge shout-out to you. I see what you're doing, and you're doing some phenomenal things. And then Bono. I love Bono. When Joel Embiid is out, he comes in, he provides a spark. He's all over the glass. He's blocking shots. He's a defensive nightmare to opposing offenses. So I love what Bono does and brings to the table as well. He's just a phenomenal guy, rock star right there. Bono, I like what you're doing. And then huge salute to Andre Drummond. This man, oh my God, comes off the bench as an offensive rebounding machine. Did you guys know that Andre Drummond ranks 11th in all-time rebounds per minute? This is a stat that I didn't even know. Just a phenomenal guy, and he does great things. Andre Drummond comes in, he's a beast down low, and he's a bully. So I like what y'all doing over there in Philly. You also got Nick Nurse. He won a championship with the Toronto Raptors when Kawhi was over there. He's at the helm over there. You got VJ Edgecombe. He's actually my vote right now for Rookie of the Year. He's also Bahamian, like myself, Caribbean. And the guys, he does so many things uniquely for a rookie. He plays like he has ice veins, not afraid to shoot the jump shot, not afraid to shoot the pull-up midi. He runs the floor, makes good passes, and he has a high IQ. Not to mention he could jump out the gym. It would be a disservice, BJ, if we did not see you in the dunk competition. We'd love to see you there, just putting on a show, as you do always. So VJ Edgecombe is a great young rookie out of Philadelphia that you guys need to watch. And congratulations to all your success. The 76ers, you're doing a great job. Now, our Western Conference Player of the Week has to go to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Put up so much great numbers. I watched him tonight against the Clippers, just pick them apart. Midi, pull-up, spot-up, off the spin, layups, cutting. The Thunder is so hard to beat because they beat you in so many ways. They could beat you on the defensive end by keeping their hands in the passing lane, cutting off baselines, pushing opposing offenses to the middle where they have Chet Holmgren. But a fun fact that you may have not have known is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander actually leads the team in blocks this year. You got your superstar MVP leading you in blocks. That is insane, you guys. And Shai has been doing such an amazing job. He also just tied Oscar Robinson's record for over 80 games, over 20 points. The kid is just doing phenomenal things. A monster. Bully. He play a bully ball. So shout out to Shai. He's also Antiguan like myself. You know, I got to give the West Indians and the Caribbeans love out there because we really doing some things in the league. If you're not hearing me, we're out here doing big things. You not hear me now? Yeah, I love it. We just doing great things out there. So shout out to Shai for being the Western Conference Player of the Week. All right, so I want to get right into what we have upcoming. Let you guys know we have some great, interesting things on the way. I want you guys to understand these fun things that we have for you and what we want you to keep in mind when betting this week, okay? Keep these things in mind when betting this week. These are the numbers. I don't make the numbers, but the numbers make me money. So pay attention to the numbers, know how to execute at a high level, and how to stay integrated with what's going on, okay? The one thing you want to understand is this, right? On a back-to-back, it will crack your back. Remember that. Keep that in mind when betting back-to-backs. Know the team. If it's a day rest, is it 2 days rest? How are they going to perform? We actually won great today. The Bucks was on a back-to-back. Giannis was looking a little winded in the first. The score was 21-21, and Coach Doc Rivers had to take him out. It was 24-24, excuse me. And Coach Rivers had to take him out. They took him out. The Raptors went on an 11-4 run. So it's very important to understand back-to-backs, how teams play on a day rest, 1 day rest, 2 day rest, back-to-backs, no rest, 3-day rest. These are important things that you need to understand before placing a wager on these teams. Another thing you need to know is differentials, right? This is very important, differentials. Teams' average points and their differential, meaning what they beat teams by. Do they beat teams by this amount? Do they lose to teams by this amount? It's very important to calculate your differentials when betting. I had a friend, he was like, man, I do this, man. You ain't going to tell me nothing. You ain't betting me. I do that. I said, well, what's your numbers, right? What's your betting percentage? How often do you win? What is your rate of return on your wins? You need to understand how to stack the numbers and then track the numbers. If you're not tracking your numbers, you're doing yourself a major disservice and you're not being able to execute on a high level. Hold on. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But I want to let you guys know the ATS, the top teams, these are teams you don't want to bet against. You don't want to bet against when it comes down to crunch time. They're playing phenomenal basketball. And the teams I want to point out that are doing this, first and foremost, when I say ATS, it is against the spread. That's what that means. That means against what Vegas or the sports books put out there for them to win by. So it's very important to know ATS, against the spread. The spread, if it's a minus, that means this team is favored to win. They become a favorite. So whether it says -3, -6, -9, -10, this is showing that a team is actually a favorite to win. So if I say take the plus money, this would mean take the underdog to win. If I say take +7, this means they're not going to beat this other team by more than 6 points. If they beat them by 6, we still win at a +7. So you need to understand this when sports betting, knowing when to take the plus money or when to go money line. Money line means we're taking a underdog to win outright. Outright. Now, this pays a substantially amount more than just taking the plus money. If you take the plus money, it's going to give you roughly around 110 to 115. This means on each 100 that you bet, you're going to get 90 back. If you want 100 back, you have to bet $110. This is how you have to understand the numbers in sports betting in order to be an accurate and more efficient bettor in wagering against the books. Now, the thing that I love about the Oklahoma City Thunder is not only are they 8-0 to start the season, they're doing this without Jalen Williams, a.k.a. Dub. Dub actually put up 40-point of victory in the finals. Shea also called him the co-MVP of that. I watched that game. He was putting on a clinic. When I tell you he has no weakness in his game, he doesn't. And he could guard 1 through 5. So for them to be 8-0 without him, but get the kicker. They're 8-0 without him, and their point differential, which means the average margin of victory, is plus 13.2, leading the league. That means their average victory is 13.2 points, beating teams by 13.2 points. That's incredible. When you look at those numbers without one of your co-stars, you're looking at a team that is built and ready to go long and deep on a playoff run and potentially even win not only the Emirates Cup, but also win the NBA 2025-20 championship. This team is the real deal. They also have a young core that is great with Isaiah Joe, AJ Mitchell, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Harkenstein, and Caruso is the facilitator. He comes in and gives them that voice of reason. With winning a championship with the Lakers and with the Thunder last year, he's doing a phenomenal job. And I think both teams benefited from the trade. When you look at what the Thunder has and what they brought to the table and what they got in return, both teams benefited. The OKC Thunder, they need a veteran guard. They got that in Caruso. The Bulls got Josh Giddey, who's doing a phenomenal job. When you look at Josh Giddey, he reminds me a lot of Magic Johnson. Salute to Magic Johnson. But the way he plays with passion, a 6'9" guard that can handle and pass out of the drive, shoot the three-point shot, just crafty, not the most athletic, but just very crafty with the basketball. I really love what they're doing over at Chicago. Now, the Chicago Bulls, they are the Eastern leader, leading the East, being 6-1 with a point differential of only plus 4.8. You see the difference, guys? When they beat teams, they're beating them by a low margin. When the Thunder beats teams, they're beating them by double digits, applying very much heavy pressure to the teams. So the only other team that's even close, remotely close to point differential in which they beat teams by is the Houston Rockets. And I love the way they made the move to trade Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks for Kevin Durant. Not only do you get a veteran, a seasoned veteran with a championship ring, he also will be able to help those younger guys come along, understand how to be more professional, how to approach the game from longevity. He's a future Hall of Famer. KD is arguably one of the best perimeter jump shooters that the game has ever saw. So look for Houston Rockets to make a deep push in the playoffs this year. Also having Aspen Shangoon, excuse my language, he's a great player as well. I love what Aspen Shangoon does. He was practicing with Olajuwon in the offseason, and it really shows. He worked on his game. He worked on his perimeter jump shot. But one of the unsung heroes in this team, I feel, is Steven Adams. He creates so much pressure on opposing offenses just by his rebounding, shot blocking skills, and just having a great knack for the game. Him along with Tyron Eason coming off the bench makes it hard for second units to get second chances, okay? So if you're putting your bench team in, make sure that they're ready to really play. Also seen Maine Thompson, just 360, oop. They was really balling against Dallas Mavericks, and huge salute to the Rockets. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. They currently they're tied for third and fourth with the Denver Nuggets. So shout out to the Houston Rockets. I look for them to make a push in this upcoming week as well. These are some of the teams that you need to watch that I think have the potential to take the Eastern Conference. I know you guys can call me crazy all you want, but I have a team that's very focused in the East. Their defensive intensity, rebounding, just the way they play and run the floor, and they have an absolute superstar in Cade Cunningham. Shout out to the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons currently sit tied for third in the East, but I look for them to make a strong push this week, and they're going to push for that number one spot this upcoming week. I love what the Detroit Pistons are doing. They're moving the ball, they're playing defense, they're defending, and they're being clutch. And remember, they're a playoff team. They almost knocked out the Knicks last year to go on to the next round, which would be the Eastern Conference Finals. So I look for the Detroit Pistons to make a good push. There's someone on my card that I really love. They're also 5-2 against the spread, which is great. They're covering 71% of their games. So you got to look out for the Detroit Pistons. Don't get stung by, oh, they're facing this team. I'm going to give you guys a rule of thumb. They're all professionals, you guys. So anybody can beat anybody on any given night. So don't come to me like, look, oh, but this guy, this guy, Giannis, this person, this name. No disrespect to Giannis. Giannis has been playing absolute lights out basketball since returning. But anybody could beat anybody at any given time, you guys. And you have to remember that. Another team, that's my sleeper. So I gave you my sleeper in the East. My sleeper in the West is Los Angeles. Slay, where you at? The Los Angeles Lakers been balling. And J.J. Redick has these guys in a mentality of championship or nothing. Championship or bust. And they've been playing that way. They still haven't even gotten LeBron back. And they're 6-2, you guys, HCS, against the spread. Remember, we don't care who wins. All we care about is who covers. That's the only thing that matters to us. And we do a phenomenal job at that over here at Smack the Odds. So you guys need to understand that when betting these games, which team is the best? ATS. How they match up against each other. These are things that make the difference in whether you want to bet there or not. Very key factors. Also, who's reffing the game? These refs have earpiece now, you guys. So you never know what they're telling them there. Hey, man, make this call. Hey, that's out of bounds. You ever see a play, you be like, well, he traveled and it doesn't get called. Or he pushes me and they don't call it a foul. I lost a parlay yesterday on the Boston and Utah Jazz game. That's the only game I needed. I was 4 out of 5 in that parlay. Jaylen Brown has some interesting things to say to the referees. I know he said that after the game, prior to the game being over, but he had a great point, man. Boston should have really won that game, but we don't cry over spilt milk. We just go get some more, okay? We just keep going back for the other coin and the other coin and the other coin. Keep stacking it up. We ain't worried about what you lost because only losers worry about losses. Winners look at what they did wrong to lose and they execute better the next time. And that's what we do with our consulting company, Smack the Odds. We help people understand how to make better sports wagers and what are trap games to stay away from, what are trap spreads. Just give people insight on how to become a better sports bettor all around. NBA is our specialty, and we the best to ever do it. If you know anyone that would like to challenge us in the NBA, in the sport of just NBA, bet for bet. They pick their bet each day. We pick our bet each day. We would love to do a 30-day challenge with any of you handicappers out there. Reach out to us. We don't mind because this is what we do. You can't say you're the best and you don't want to go head-to-head with the best. So if there's any handicappers out there that would like to challenge, 30-day challenge, we'll put the bread up and let's see who's the best of the best. We're more than willing to do that because we know what we bring to the table. Now, with that being said, we want to offer some giveaways. So we'll be giving away $500 to one of our lucky subscribers. So do subscribe, click the like button, comment, subscribe. We want to know where people are tuning in from, chiming in from. We love the love that we've been receiving. And we appreciate you guys giving us this platform to really engage with our community and give back insight. I want you guys to become the best at winning. And if you can't be the best, get with the best. And this is what we do. I'm not worried about the rest. All I worry about is nothing, because there's no worries. We're going to get back to work. We're going to keep going hard. We're going to keep focusing on what we need to do to execute at a high volume. This is Smack the Odds. I am Maine Simon. Do like and subscribe if you feel you got value. Thank you guys once again for another successful episode. I'm out.